Hey guys, Cindy Williams here, the Wanderlust CEO. I have the amazing Kristen with me this morning from Pin Your Destination. Kristen, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us. And first, let me say congratulations. You're a recent Careers on Vacation graduate.
I can't believe it. I
Doesn't it?
honestly can't believe it. Yeah.
It feels good, right? It's a lot of work you put in that time frame, so it must feel good, I'm sure. So I wanted to invite Kristen on the show, you guys, today to just share a little bit about her story, because I'm sure there's someone out there that has a similar story to hers. But Kristen, share with everyone, if you wouldn't mind, where your business was before taking Careers on Vacation and where you are now.
Sure. Well, before this program, there was no business. I'm brand new to the industry. Like anyone who would start a travel business, I love to travel myself. But I found throughout the years that I love almost just as equally is planning travel for others and finding the joy that others find in a
Mm.
trip that was, a first time or something they've never seen or experienced before. Like it brings me almost just as much joy as experiencing it myself. Before, years ago, I used to work at a nonprofit that brought me throughout the nation and also international to Europe to
Wow.
conduct some events for veterans and first responders. And I can't tell you, I mean, we planned that trip from their travels, where they're staying, from because it was a bike ride. So we brought them from a city to a city over 7 days, new city every
Wow.
night, planning. And so I just discovered in myself that I love the finite details and I love making sure that everything is a smooth sail for my clients and my customers. And then after that, I became a flight attendant. So travel is just running through my veins and my blood. So
You were ready. I love it. So we had no business before you started, and you thought, I want to do something with travel. Where is your business today, Kristen?
yeah, so unfortunately, due to COVID, I was furloughed from my job. And I really took a moment to reflect, thinking on the past and thinking about my future and reflect on, what I've always known that I wanted to be a flight attendant, but I have always known that I wanted to kind of make being a flight attendant a part-time gig for all the amazing perks, but then doing something on the side that was really going to, challenge me and, bring me that joy that I really want, which I discovered was planning trips for others. So that's when I discovered this was something I want to do. And then I found your program and it was I could have probably done it on my own, but I would not be where I am just 12 weeks later without your program. Like it elevated the experience, it elevated the process. It gave me materials and information that I wouldn't have known otherwise, or would have taken me years to be like, oh, shoot, was I supposed to do that when I first started my business? So, yes, it. I am now just a short 12 weeks later. Like, I feel like I'm a thriving business just this short amount of time into being brand new. So,
Love that. Yeah, and that's no easy feat because normally just to learn how to be takes that long, but I think, having those business pieces right in play from the beginning, more of a learn while you earn philosophy. And I love that you have that. Actually have a lot of travel industry, I'll say, staffers coming into the program. We have a pilot in the program right now, and we have a couple other people that have come from the industry because they have some more time right now, or people that have those furloughs and they still want to work and travel. So I love that you're parlaying it into something new. What have been your biggest wins or celebrations since taking the program?
well, without a doubt, my biggest win was being featured in a Travel Weekly article.
Yay! So
That's the biggest
exciting.
win. They just featured me and my story and how I'm coping through the COVID situation and how I got to where I am. So that's a big celebration. It was neat to have.
Absolutely.
Up to this point, I haven't had a lot of business. I feel I'm in a very saturated market. I'm in a big city, so there is a lot of competition. And also, I feel like those in my circle are not yet ready to take that boost to travel yet. But one of my biggest successes, I think, is what a great job I'm doing marketing, what a great job
Mhm.
I'm doing instilling like ideas and inspiration into others when they're ready. they're going to come to me to kind of research where they want to go, ask me questions about what they need to do or how they can prepare. So I feel that I'm being a great advocate for travel advisors in general and my business, just instilling in people that I am the expert. I'm somebody they should come to when they're ready to travel, when everything is
I
when the
love
go
that.
is
Yeah,
given.
working on your expert positioning, building your base, building that database up, having that marketing machine and marketing is important because as people return to travel, it's literally like hitting that button, and then you, like you said, you're already positioned as the expert and kind of ready to go. I love
And you
that.
know what's crazy is marketing is the hardest part.
Oh
Anyone
yeah.
would say that. It's
Yep.
the hardest part, but because it's almost like this hidden silver lining, because since business isn't like, really picking up right now, it's giving you such an opportunity to just learn the ins and the outs about the best strategies for marketing and how it works for you and what's working. So I'm really kind of noticing that bizarre silver lining that we have going on
Yeah,
right
for
now.
sure. And marketing takes some time to work. So good for you for like leaning in and getting it done when you had the downtime during the quarantine, right? That's
Definitely.
it's a lot of like architecture in putting your marketing machine together. So having that operational is that's a huge feat. That's the first part of kind of like turning it on and starting to churn those leads. So kudos to you. Talk to us about the mindset in the program. How did the mindset work impact either your life or business?
Okay, so I gotta say that I am definitely not somebody who's, meditative and reflective. And I've never been somebody who kind of drills into the mindset portion. And so right from the beginning, we were given mindset, just webinars and training, different aspects we can utilize the mindset portion of it. And I have to be honest, I brushed over it. And then it was closer to the end when I felt confident in what I have done. Like I felt the business was, moving forward. I felt I was like, wow, I'm better at this than I thought I was. And then I found the mindset was way more beneficial to me. Like, because I really was like, we started talking about, affirmations and reminding yourself that you can do it and you're here for yourself. And that's when I was like, I did do this. I did this, and there's such a short period of time with all the tools I was given. And I was very blessed to have had a lot of time on my hands to really dig deep. But
Mm-hmm.
then the mindset sort of started to set in. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative to have someone just constantly reminding me, that the universe is here for me. If I allow it, it's here. I'm ready. I can do this. So I I found the mindset to be more personally. Some people like it up front, but me later in the program,
Mhm.
I almost went back to some of the earlier
Yeah.
mindset, and I
Yep.
was like watching it like, yes,
Yep.
yes, Brandon is right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and at some point in the program, it's either like you said, begin. It can be at different stages, but I think the important thing is having the tools because when you go from working out in the world to now I'm working from home by myself, like it can feel kind of isolating. I think
Definitely.
that's one of those things where everybody has a bad day. Everybody has an overwhelmed day or you make a mistake or whatever. So to be able to fall back on those tools is amazing. So I love that. Um,
Absolutely.
Kristen, walk me back to the beginning of your journey. I always like to ask this question like, were there any hurdles you had to overcome when you found us online and like you decided to lean in and move forward? What was that process like for you personally?
Yeah. So in college, I did study entrepreneurship. So I knew that, like, I am, I love to be the boss, of myself, not necessarily of others, but just myself. I like to take control. I like to know what I have my hands in and kind of start something that feels rewarding to myself. And so, like I said, as a flight attendant, I love the job, of course, but there's something is lacking in that you can't take control of your own. It's a job that you do, but it's not something that is necessarily rewarding on a daily basis. And so I always knew that I wanted to do something, on the side. And this is the perfect opportunity because I know it's not life changing when somebody comes to you and says, we want to travel, help us. But it it feels that way because you could potentially be bringing multi-generational, you could be connecting grandma and grandpa with, the new grandkids, and they wouldn't otherwise have had the opportunity to spend so much time together and have a trip plan that really dig deep in all of their, they could tell old stories and they have all this extra
Mhm.
time to spend together. So, it's not like, you know life changing things, but it makes a difference, and it really does bring you joy to plan these things for
Yeah,
people. So,
you're so right. Like I always say, like what we do is so important because when you're on the rocking chair at 85 years old and you're looking back at like all of the things you've done in your life, like you get to be the deliverer of the dream of those hallmark times, right? Those highlights. If you look back at your lifetime, I always think about my honeymoon. And I think about we got married at Disney, and I think like when I look back a lot of my happy memories are engrossed in travel, and that is what you do for people. That's what all travel agents do for people. So I think what you said is right. Like it actually is life changing in my and from my perspective in terms of like that. There's a coach out there somewhere, and he says, one of the most important things is figuring out how you're going to serve the world. And I think travel advisors and travel agents do exactly what you just said. It's like being a part of those moments and kind of being in the tapestry of that person's life in some small way. Does that make sense?
absolutely.
I love
Recently,
that.
I attended a bridal expo as a vendor, and I
Mm.
was fortunate to have been the only vendor there that was travel related, for the honeymoon. And it 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 surprised me how many, bride and grooms to be came through, and when they got to my booth, they were like, we we hadn't even like the honeymoon hasn't even really dawned on us yet.
Oh
And I was
yeah, we
like,
forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, that's okay. Believe me, I'm engaged. I understand. But at the same time, let me tell you how
Yeah.
amazing it can be and should be, because it's the first trip together as newlyweds and you deserve it. And it can be incredible. And that right there, that trip that they first take as newlyweds could be what they remember forever. So,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. It's so powerful. And I love that you mentioned that you did a show because we do have a guide in the program how to get your first 100 leads, and it shows you how to do a successful show. So I love to hear. I know you I mentioned I remember you said that in the mastermind that you were going to do that show now that I remember. So I'm glad that that came to fruition for you.
Yes.
That's like, stacking leads. So all of those honeymoons around the corner, especially after everyone canceled stuff in 2020. I think everybody's just itching to kind of get rebooked. So that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Talk about a once in a lifetime honeymoon. Like, if there's ever a time,
Yeah.
do it now.
We're just like we're doing makeup trips all in one, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So Kristen, tell what would you say to that person who's on the fence or thinking about they want to be a travel agent, they have a passion for travel, they've always wanted to do this, but they're just on the fence like do I invest in a program to help me or what are that person is like just not sure. They're feeling in that unsure space. What would you say to that person about careers on vacation?
Yeah. There are a lot of avenues to take this, this new adventure that you're doing to become a travel advisor. But Cindy's program, your program, Careers on Vacation, it is like, it's not just sign online, you know, lear take a few webinars, learn a few things, take a quiz to make sure that you did it right, and then, good luck. I mean, it is so personal. You can personally get coaching. You can ask one-on-one questions. People care to answer your questions. If somebody asked it, the first week of the program, but then you were like, you've just taken your course and now you've asked it 4 weeks into the program, they don't care. They're like, how can we help you? What can we do to make sure that you are successful? And they want to see every person through the program succeed. So if it's seriously something that somebody's considering, I'm not sure I couldn't imagine have chosen any other route besides the Careers on Vacation program. So,
I love it. Yeah, and there's a lot to consider as all of you out there who are watching this and you're going, "Oh my gosh, do I do this step? Do I do that step?" Listen, just book a discovery call. That's the best thing to do. Go to careersonvacation.com/ready now and just talk to our team about what your goals are. When we talked to Kristen, she kind of explained what she wanted to do. If it's a match to work together, we'll give you the information on how to apply for the program. If not, we're still going to give you some great tips and resources. But I also want to remind everyone we have 2 learning tracks. If you are brand new, maybe you've never worked in the travel industry in any form or fashion, that's okay. You go on our new agent track. That's what Kristen was on, even though she was a flight attendant. She'd never actually booked travel yet. She was on the new agent track. The other track is our experienced agent track. So if you've been in the business 5, 10, 20 years, but you need to know how to get relevant in today's space and get your marketing machine turned on and doing the things that it takes to outreach to the people who are ready to travel, then we're helping the experienced agents do that and the new agents do that too. So visit us at careersonvacation.com/ready now and we can help you from there. But Kristen, thank you so much for being on the show today. I just have loved your journey. You were such a joy to have in the mastermind. And we wish you so much abundance. You're going over to the grad group. So, you're not going far. We're going to be your
I can't
cheerleaders for life for sure.
Continued collaboration. I love it. Thank
I
you,
love it.
Susie.
Yeah, thanks for joining the show today. Guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.